Hello everyone, TimeToGrind here, and today I wanted to talk about Call of Duty Black Ops 4. And that's because Black Ops 4 is one of the best Call of Duty games I have ever played. And that is including my nostalgia-driven memories of MW2 and Black Ops 1 and 2 and all those great older CODs. This is really, really good. And playing as, on PC, being a PC gamer, traditionally a lot of the COD developers do not give a crap about us. It's either a extremely bad port like Infinite Warfare or just an okay port like World War II. World War II ran okay, it was good, it didn't have like a stupid FPS cap lock, but it wasn't that great. But Treyarch actually cares about PC, and it shows. I mean, with Black Ops 3, if you look at all of the recent CODs besides, Black Ops 4, if you look at the player counts, Black Ops 3 was beating out Infinite Warfare and World War II. It was beating out, besides Black Ops 4, the most recent Call of Duty game, just because it was the best. I mean, it ran the best, it was shown the most love, and it really shows. And on top of that, Treyarch is one of the only companies that really know how to make a true, Call of Duty game, at least now anyways. But there are so many things that they are doing right with this game that I wanted to talk about. But there is a lot to talk about. I mean, you have some review sites saying that they're going to give separate reviews for, multiplayer and zombies and Blackout. And that makes sense because they're entirely different experiences. But with me, because I don't give a review score, I don't really believe in review scores at all. I'd rather you guys listen to what I have to say about it and make a judgment based on that. But I'm going to just talk about it all in one video because I don't want to, make separate videos or all of that shenanigans. But the first most important for me anyways is multiplayer. That's always what I spend the most time in, because that's really what I enjoy in a Call of Duty game. I enjoy just having, like I've said in many videos before, I like having just a good old arcade shooter to just play while, I'm talking to my friends on Discord or whatever I'm doing, listen to music. It's just nice to have some mindless game to just, play, and not only have it be fun, but have something to grind for. So you have your max prestige, you have all of the camos, trying to get the dark matter camo and all that stuff, and that's what I really, really enjoy. So multiplayer is really good, it's really solid, and they've made a lot of changes to the Call of Duty formula that I really enjoy, and I hope stay going forward. And one of the big ones is how the minimap works. The minimap now kind of has this little circle around you and then a cone of field of view in front of you. And if anybody's in that kind of field of view or that little circle around you, you see them. So it kind of shows that, and then there's a perk that you can see your teammates kind of field of views to have even more sight. And in the gameplay, you're going to be seeing my minimap light up a bunch kind of around it, and that's because I have this really amazing piece of equipment. I don't know if I would call it OP, but it's definitely strong. It's called like acoustic sensor or something like that, and pretty much if anybody's in like an AoE around you, it just tells you what direction. So someone's sneaking up behind you, and you can just turn around. It's really, really good. So that's what that is on the minimap. But I really like the changes they did with like the fog of war and the field of view, and obviously if someone's shooting, you'll still see them on the minimap. But I really like that. And another change I really like is with the kind of stim pack, how it works. Pretty much you no longer just regenerate health, so you don't have to worry about, oh, am I going to regen enough in time? Instead, you have a piece of equipment that everybody has, and it allows you to, kind of stab yourself with a shot and you regen health. And the animation takes about like a second to two, and then it starts regenning health, so it really puts the decision up to you. So say you kill someone and someone's next to you. Do you think you have enough time to heal yourself, or do you think you need to just go out? Because you don't want to get caught, healing yourself, because there's an animation and they'll easily be able to kill you. But you get more control over when you're actually healing. And then also it has like a 9 to 10 second cooldown, so you can't just spam it or anything like that. But I think it adds a lot to the game because there's a huge another decision you're having to make, and it adds a lot of depth to the multiplayer. And on top of that, they brought back 4 of people's favorite maps. You have jungle, you have firing range, you have slums, and I can't remember the last one, but you have 4 amazing old maps, and then you have a ton of other original maps. And normally when I play a new Call of Duty game, there's at least 1 or 2 maps that I despise, that I really, really hate, but so far I don't hate any of the Black Ops 4 maps. I enjoy them all, including the new ones, which is crazy, because now, I mean, there's a huge amount of variety for me because there's more maps than normally in COD games, and on top of that they're all really, really good. And it's nice seeing maps, especially jungle, because we haven't really seen jungle in a while. You know, firing range they remastered as the studio in I think Black Ops 2 or Black Ops 3 or something like that, but it's nice to have firing range, and overall it just feels really nice. And another change that I've noticed that I haven't heard a lot of people talking about is when you are shooting somebody, even if you don't get the last hit, it'll still like act like you got the kill. So you'll still get 100 points if you're playing like team deathmatch or whatever. You'll still get the points for it, and you know that helps with your kill streaks and stuff like that. But overall, it just makes the game feel a lot more satisfying because, you know, before, if you were helping shoot someone and then someone else killed him, well, you didn't really get anything for that. I mean, obviously you helped get a kill, which further your team winning, but you know, COD's always kind of been a selfish game where you just want to get all the kill streaks and do good yourself. So this really makes you feel better, and you know, I really think it helps newer players and players that aren't that great, because they can still feel like they're doing something. They can still feel like they're doing good. And on top of that, they've hidden your kill death. Like, you can't see how many kills exactly and how many deaths you have. And I think that's kind of for the same reason why Overwatch doesn't have it. They don't want to have, you know, newer players look at the score and be like, oh, I'm 150. Well, that's great. You know, instead it shows you your score. It does show you your kill death ratio, but that includes like those kills that aren't necessarily kills. But overall, I mean, it doesn't bother me too much. I wish I could see my kills and deaths, but I think it just helps newer players. But overall, multiplayer is fantastic. The weapons are good. The pick 10 system is back, but it has even more depth. I mean, some weapons you have like a special operator mod that you have to put like an operator mod greed on, then you can equip it, so you have special equipments on that. Attachments aren't universal, so every assault rifle doesn't have the same attachments, which lets them kind of balance around that. On top of that, you have these really cool things where, say a gun has grip, it might have grip 2, so once you play with it enough, you could equip grip 2, and it takes a second attachment slot, but it, you know, helps even more with grip or something like that. And there's a lot of cases like that. But overall, I really like it. The only kind of balance changes I would like is, overall, in most Call of Duty games, the submachine guns are amazing and they're OP, and I feel like in this game they really nerfed them a little too hard, because most of the time there's no reason to be using that in terms of an assault rifle. But I'll get to that in a little bit when I talk about, you know, what Treyarch's been doing and stuff like that. But then you have Blackout, and Blackout, you know, when it was announced and I talked about having a Battle Royale mode, everybody kind of made fun of Call of Duty. They're like, oh, they're jumping on the Battle Royale bandwagon, yippee. And then when people saw the gameplay and when people actually played the beta and now that the game is out, I mean, this is insane. I mean, everybody's saying, oh, it's not going to kill Fortnite. Nothing will kill Fortnite, pretty much. It's transcended space and time itself. And it's truly just going to constantly be up there, just like Minecraft was for years, probably. But it is the best the best traditional battle royale game you can play out there. I do think people calling it a PUBG killer is completely valid, because as of right now there is absolutely no reason to play PUBG if you can play Blackout. It does everything PUBG does better. It runs so smoothly compared to PUBG. You know, if you've played a lot of PUBG, you know you kind of just have to get used to the game just feeling like crap. It running so slowly, it being buggy, you getting like 2 frames per second, and Blackout runs very, very smoothly. The gunplay is great because it's, you know, the gunplay of Call of Duty. The time to kill has increased, so it's not what you're thinking, just people are going to instantly die, but, you know, you can die pretty fast. But it has good gunplay, and it also brings a lot new to the table. I mean, you have like perks as part of the loot that you can find and you equip, and they last for like 2 minutes, and that's really awesome. So you could find a perk called Looter, and it lets you see all this loot and you loot faster and stuff like that. There's helicopters and vehicles. There's zombies on some parts of the map protecting, like, I mean, mystery boxes, and if you kill zombies, you could maybe find a ray gun. I mean, there's traditional old Black Ops maps like Firing Range and Nuketown and stuff like that on the Blackout map, and that is amazing. It's so awesome, and to just be in those environments that you used to play in the old COD games, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, everything about it is awesome, and it is, they're going to be doing like events with, you know, I think they tried at some point in the beta where like a zombie lord thing was roaming the map and stuff like that, but they're going to do a lot with Blackout. I don't know if they'll make another map for Blackout, but they're definitely going to be doing a lot with Blackout, and I truly, truly think it is the best Battle Royale mode on the market right now. You know, I've made my opinions clear about Fortnite. I'm not a big fan of it. So Blackout is easily the best battle royale, in my opinion, that you could play, period. And then you have zombies, and I will admit, zombies, I don't really ever get too much into zombies. I don't like playing it by myself, and most of my friends don't really like playing zombies, so I don't tend to play zombies that much, so I haven't had a lot of time with it in Black Ops 4, but from what I've heard, a lot of people were having some issues with it because it kind of reinvented the wheel a little bit with it. They added a lot of new things and mechanics to the game, and overall I think people were saying it was really unfair. I mean, there was no Juggernog, and people were dying in 2 hits, and there were a lot of things that instantly killed you. But this wraps into what I wanted to talk about Treyarch. Within like 2 days of launch, they've already put out about 1 to 2 balance patches, and the one that came out most recently was this huge patch that firstly just completely rebalanced zombies, and from what I've heard, it fixed most of the issues people had with the game, because it prevented things from one-shotting it. You know, overall I think they gave 50 points of health to all players, so you die, you know, slower, and overall, like, they did this huge balance patch. On top of that, when the game launched, the day of, they put out this huge Reddit thread pinning, and it was pinned to the subreddit, talking about what, you know, feedback they've been getting, what they're going to be doing, all of this stuff. And in the patch that had zombies, in that thread, they also, you know, fixed a couple issues people were having, and they highlighted a lot of areas that they're working on or, you know, looking at and stuff like that. And it you know, normally when you play like a game, especially a lot of AAA title games, and there's a problem or a balance problem, like, oh, in World War II, why is this crutch perk that reduces flinching everybody's having to take, and it's terrible, and it takes them 8 months to fix it, and it's ridiculous. And so normally you don't really expect a company to fix it, but Treyarch has been so amazing in terms of, you know, having great community managers talking on Reddit, and, you know, putting out these balance patches and talking about what they're improving or what they're trying to fix. It feels really awesome to actually have devs that feel like they care and are actually listening to the community. I mean, if there's a thread on Reddit about, I mean, earlier there was a thread talking about how there's emotes in the game, and when you use them, you go in third person mode, and people were able to use that to, like, kind of third person peek in, like, Battle Royale mode, where, you know, the point of Battle Royale in this is it's first person. You can't do any of the stupid things where you're hiding in a building and you swivel the camera to see if someone's entering the building. Well, people were able to do that with the emotes, and people were talking about it on Reddit. There were a couple high voted, you know, posts, and then they put out they commented on one of the posts, and then they, you know, pinned it, and they talked about it a lot, how what they were doing to fix it. They said, well, okay, we are working on a system where there will be 2 different types. One, when you're in the menu, it'll do the camera swivel, because it's fine if you're in the menu or you're waiting for Blackout to spawn, that's fine. And then we're gonna have a competitive one where you can't, like, swivel the camera and it won't render things and all this stuff. And they talked about how they were gonna fix it, and it was amazing, and it just really feels awesome to have that. And the last part about Black Ops 4 that I want to talk about is the payment model, because, you know, you can't watch a Time to Grind video without me ranting about a certain payment model. But unfortunately, I don't like the Black Ops Pass. I don't really like season passes in general, especially when they give maps that are going to split the player base. At the very least, they're not selling 4 different DLC packs, which are going to split the community in 80 different ways, because you might have DLC 1 and 4, or 2 and 3, or all of them, or none of them. Instead, you either have the Black Ops Pass or you don't, so it's only splitting it 2 ways. It's still abysmal, and I'm not defending it, but at the very least, it's not that. But on top of that, we've heard that they are not going to be putting loot boxes in the game, and I really like that. Instead, they're going to work on a Battle Pass system, and it'll work something similar to Fortnite. And if you have the Black Ops Pass, you get to skip, like, the first 10 levels or something like that, but it'll have rewards along the way. And I've talked about, I like the Battle Pass system. I am kind of pessimistic about it in this game, because it is Activision Blizzard after all. You know, although Treyarch is really good and they're doing everything they can to make this game the best, they still have to answer to Activision Blizzard, and I am a little scared about the payment model, and I'm scared that they're going to make the Battle Pass system very, very, very scummy. But no matter how scummy the Battle Pass system is, I would take it over any loot box system, and I'm sure you'll be hearing from me when they make a terrible Battle Pass system and I rant about it. But as of right now, just the knowledge that there will be no loot boxes and instead a Battle Pass system, I'm content with. I'm happy with that. But overall, all encompassing, Black Ops 4 is amazing. It is definitely it's easily the best modern Call of Duty game, period. I don't really feel like there's much argument there, but it is honestly, it competes with the old games that everybody has nostalgia for, like MW2 and Black Ops 1 and 2, and even MW3. That was my big nostalgia. That was the first, COD game I played on Xbox Live. But it is really good, and especially if you're a PC gamer, don't worry about the port or anything. There's a huge player base. It's great. It's good. This is an amazing year for COD, especially for PC gamers. But those are just my opinions. I'd love to hear your guys' if you guys have seen gameplay of it, if you guys have played it, even if you are on consoles, because I have heard a couple conflicting issues with how Blackout runs on, I think, on the original Xboxes or stuff like that. But if you guys have played the, Blackout or any of the aspects of Call of Duty, no matter what platform you're on, let me know in the comments down below your experience on it. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, then consider leaving a like down below and subscribing to see more content. New videos come out every Wednesday and Sunday. And like always, guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day.